All right, what's up everybody? So, have you ever wondered what your favorite artists use to record their music? What type of equipment they use, the audio interface, the microphone? Well, the thing is, 99% of the time, they all use the exact same setup. Well, in this video, we're gonna jump straight into it and talk about it. Now, one thing to make very clear and distinguish here, if the artist that you're thinking about is already signed, established, backed by a major label, those sorts of things, then of course, they're probably not using this setup. They're probably using something a bit more high-end. However, that's not to say that at some point prior in their career that they weren't using this setup. This vocal chain that I'm gonna share with you guys is pretty notorious in the industry, and well, it's a very common setup for a multitude of reasons, which we're going to get into in this video. Guys, listen, the vocal chain that we're talking about is none other than the Audio-Technica AT2020 and the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. That's right, this vocal chain right here is arguably the most popular, the most recorded on, most sought after, most infamous, I mean, we can go on and on and on, vocal chain ever used because of the price point. It is so cheap. You can't argue with that value proposition. Almost anybody can go get this setup, which again, that's one of the reasons why it's such a common setup and why some of the biggest artists have recorded on this one. Some of you guys remember this, but I grew up during the SoundCloud era, and almost all of the artists that were coming up during that time were recording on this exact setup using the AT2020 and the Scarlett Solo. It's actually very inspiring when you see some of these artists and they're using $100, $200 vocal chain. It just goes to show that the equipment really is not what goes into making good music, that it's actually the artist, which I think most people understood that, but a lot of people get really hung up on the equipment and think that you need to have, you know, $1,000 audio interface, $2,000, $3,000 microphone, and that's just simply not the case. So the fact that these are both dirt cheap and pretty much readily available at any given time, I mean, you can go into pretty much any music store for the most part and pick these up at any moment, really just make it a viable option for anybody who's looking to get into recording. Well, it should come as no surprise that this is arguably the most common vocal chain ever. Now in this video, I'm not going to be breaking down the tech specs of either one of these pieces of equipment because that's not what this video is for. It's just simply to expose the reality of recording, that you do not need to have the most expensive equipment. Don't have to go and break the bank to get a good sound. If you wanted to start recording music or podcasts, audio for your videos, whatever that might be, you really can get away with spending $50 to $200 on your vocal chain and nobody is going to have an issue with it. So guys, stick around because in my next video I'm going to upload here real soon, I'm going to show you this vocal chain in action and how I use it to get the best out of it, because there's actually a lot of techniques and tips that I can share with you guys on how I make this thing sound so good, because I'm telling you, it's very possible. A lot of people are kind of just plug and playing with this thing, but I have a method I use to make this thing sound very, very, very good. So let me know what your thoughts are on this microphone, the AT2020, and even the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Again, this is such a just infamous recording setup. It's actually amazing, but stay tuned. I'm gonna drop that video here soon, shortly, on this setup and how I utilize it to get the best out of it. And well, until then, guys, you all have a good one. Take care.